A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Welcome to the final meeting of this term. We will have our. I would like to inform that we will have our installation the next week. That is the meeting on July 6th, 2026. Tomorrow or day after, our DTM Toastmaster Shuba will put up a poll. I request all of you to kindly mark your attendance at the earliest. A lot of efforts and hard work goes into planning and execution of our installation ceremony. So I request all of you by promptly replying so that we can make the necessary arrangements required. On that note, I would like to request our Sergeant Toastmaster Sachin to take over.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
So before we can start, I request everyone to keep your phones on silent mode. So the theme for today, buy now, pay later. So since this is my last time as a sergeant, I would like to share my own personal story related to the theme. So I think it was in 7th grade. So there was this library teacher who was extremely strict, and I used to be very scared of her. Most of the class used to be, but in particular I used to be very scared of her. So I had to actually return a library book within a week. And for some reason I couldn't finish it in 1 week. And so, but even for having a normal conversation, I was so scared to approach her. So I just thought, instead of asking for renewal, I'll just keep it with myself. I was so scared. And then, so I just kept delaying it. And after 2 months, suddenly she comes to the class. First, my mind was like, why is the library teacher coming to my class? And suddenly in front of the whole class, she says, Sachin, you have not returned your book for 2 months. And I just felt so embarrassed that day. And that is when I realized, just for a small moment of awkward conversation, I was ready to make such a huge mistake. I was ready to pay 120 rupees because 60 days, 2 rupees per day was the fine. So I ended up paying 120 rupees in the end, and everyone just made fun of me at the time. So that is when I realized, just for avoiding that small responsibility, I had to pay a huge consequence later. So that just shows that if you don't buy now, you have to pay later. So yeah, that being said, let me introduce to someone who has done her BCom and her diploma in interior design. She's a sports enthusiast. She enjoys playing games like table tennis, badminton. She's a Triple Crown winner. She has also successfully completed youth leadership program. So let's welcome our president, Toastmaster Apoorva.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, for that enthusiastic and energy-filled introduction. I see few guests in the room. I request to rise up from wherever you are, say a few lines about yourself and how you got to know about our club.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ajay KS, and I got to know about Toastmasters from my dad. He was a member of Toastmasters. So yeah, I really have to improve my communication skills. So I thought of joining it.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Shreya. So I thought to introduce my daughter here. So communication is a biggest fear, right, in the market today. So I just want to get her exposed to the communication word. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello guys, my name is Madhusudan. I'm from Mysore. I got to know about this from my friend. So today was surprising me. I didn't expect this kind of arrangements, kind of things. And I'm from Uttanga Technologies. I was looking for a community to improve my communications. Thank you.
Good evening everyone. My name is Sharad Desai. I am from Dandeli, but I am working in one of the CFR. got to know, one of my friend told me regarding this Mekon communication club. So I want to improve my communication skills over here. So it's really good to see how it works. I'm really
Hope you have a wonderful time and looking forward to see you as a members of our club. Now I request our secretary Toastmaster Ujwal to read out the minutes of meeting number 1373.
Namaste fellow Toastmasters. Here are the minutes of the meeting number 1373, held on the 22nd of June 2026. The theme was Take the Shot and the word of the week well. The business session started at 6:21 p.m. and was chaired by the President Toastmaster Apoorva with the announcement on the selected members of the executive committee for the upcoming term. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Deepa Treasurer Toastmaster Chetan, Associate Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Secretary Toastmaster Aadishwar, Vice President Public Relations Toastmaster Darshan, Vice President Membership Toastmaster Jyothi, Vice President Education Toastmaster Subramanyam, Associate Toastmaster Chetan, President Toastmaster Shreya. The Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Jyothi started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Apoorva. The President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Madhusudan S. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer, Toastmaster Deepa, Accounter, Toastmaster Darshan, EP Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster M U Bhat, Grammarian, Toastmaster Aparna. The following speakers delivered their prepared speeches. Toastmaster Ajay C. Rao in the part Dynamic Leadership, Level 1, Project 4, evaluated by Toastmaster Shreedevi. Toastmaster Midhun B. Prarambhil in the path Presentation Mastery, Level 2, Project 1, evaluated by Toastmaster Ujwal NK. Toastmaster Shuba Subramanyam in the path Leadership Development, Level 3, Project 1, evaluated by Toastmaster Shreya. This was followed by the table topic session conducted by Toastmaster Sakshi Gupta and had the following speakers. Toastmaster Jyothi Rao, Distinguished Toastmaster M U Bhat, Toastmaster Chakravarthy M, Toastmaster Malegiri Das, Toastmaster Aadishwar, Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara, Toastmaster Darshan, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa GS, Toastmaster Aparna and Toastmaster Deepa. The general evaluation session was conducted by Toastmaster Chetan and the winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Ajay Rao, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shreedevi, Best Role Taker TAPG Toastmaster Darshan, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Madhusudan S, and Best Table Topic Speaker Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara. The President closed the meeting at 8:30 p.m. followed by the national anthem. Thank you and back to the President.
Are there any amendments proposed?
Associate Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Dharmendra.
Alright.
I request our secretary to make the necessary correction and send it again. With that, I would like to open meeting number 1. I'll accept the
One quick question. Was that announced during the President's address?
Yes. During the business session it was announced.
Alright. Thank you. I will make sure.
This EC committees.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not recorded. Okay.
Hmm?
That is most important.
Yeah. Because their acceptance and all you have to give. He's associated with Dharmendra.
Yeah, it has to be.
Okay, so I open meeting number 1374. When we hear the theme, buy now, pay later, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Credit card.
Credit card. Yes. Have you noticed something very interesting? When say you go shopping and you pay by cash, you feel the pinch. Even though the bill is 1,000 rupees, you feel the pinch because you see the cash going away from your hand. On the other hand, when you go shopping and pay by credit card, even though the bill is 5,000 or say 10,000, you don't feel like you've shopped so much. Well, this is the illusion of buy now, pay later. At that particular moment, it is very, very convenient until the bill arrives. Have you noticed something else? This concept of buy now, later is more broader than just shopping and money. The question is, when you make a choice, there's always a consequence. The real question here is not if we will pay. The real question is when we will pay, now or later. Let me share a small incident from my college life. In college, I had a friend called Sai, he was physically very active. He played all kind of sports He was part of the cricket team, meaning he represented our college in cricket, which also meant he played cricket on a daily basis. He was extremely fit, he hit the gym, he was very particular about his protein intake. Sometime in third year, suddenly he stopped coming. And that is when I got to know from other friend that he was hospitalized. I immediately called him. I asked him, Sai, what happened? I heard you were admitted to the hospital. And then he said in a very soft, tired tone, yes, Apoorva, I am in the hospital. I have stones in my kidney. And these stones have grown so large that I had to be rushed to the hospital. I was shocked. I was like, Sai, how? You're so active, you're so fit, how can this even happen to you? Then what he said was such a shocker to me. So, Sai, every time after playing cricket or working out, he used to drink 1 and sometimes 2 bottles of 500 ml of Pepsi, Coca-Cola or Thumbs Up. This one small habit repeated on a daily basis caused this serious situation. Every small habit we buy today, we will have to pay later through consequences. This incident also reminded me of a different childhood incident. Back when I was in school, I used to stay in Veerabhadrappa. And every time I fall ill, my parents used to take me to the small clinic located in Veerpuram, Sajjandu Circle. He was an old doctor, very simple clinic, no fancy advertisements, no expensive machinery, just plain simple clinic, and there were benches where all the patients used to sit there and wait patiently for their turn to get treated. While I was waiting, a patient who went before me, I overheard his conversation. The doctor asked him, what happened to you? The patient said, I have excess of vomiting, loose motions and terrible stomach pain. The doctor asked him, did you eat anything outside? The patient said, I had chaats like pav bhaji and golgappa 2 days back. The doctor silently started writing a prescription and handed it over to him. This patient, who's supposed to just take it and leave, instead starts being over smart and he asks the doctor, Doctor, does these medicines have side effects? Immediately, the doctor got irritated. He snapped at him. Now you're bothered about side effects? You didn't think about side effects when you were eating food from the chaatwala on the road. You didn't think about the side effects from the ingredients in those food. You didn't think what kind of oil they used. Was it reused or fresh? You didn't think of anything. Now that you are unwell, you come to me, a doctor, and when I write a prescription, you are bothered about the side effects? The patient silently took the prescription and left. Me, who was curious, who went next, asked him, Doctor, what is the biggest mistake we people do? He said, people today treat their bodies as credit cards. I was surprised and confused. I was like, credit cards? He said, yes. People today treat their bodies as credit cards. They eat anything, they sleep at any time they want, they take so much of stress, they don't even exercise, and think they can fix everything later through medicines. They live in the simple rule that enjoy now, pay later. This little line has stayed with me. This is true not just in the sector of health, but in every part of our life. We keep postponing learning that new skill. We keep pushing taking that important decision. We keep pushing having that difficult conversation. We keep pushing giving our speech. We always choose comfort and we end up paying later through regret and missed opportunity. So fellow Toastmasters, as we begin today's meeting, I would like to ask you all a question. What are you buying today that your future self will pay for tomorrow? On that note, let me introduce the MC for the day, who believes in investing in his future. He is someone who is in his final year of BE, who enjoys watching anime and goes to the gym, who stays fit by going to the gym regularly. someone who doesn't overthink and is always cool like a cucumber. With a thunderous round of applause, please welcome the MC of the day, Toastmaster Darshan.
Should I start or wait for Aadishwar?
Let him come.
Let him bring the chair.
All our chairs are in conference
No,
hall.
no, he had gone. He had brought only 4 chairs. There are a pile of chairs there. Who has gone now?
Yeah, Aadishwar is gone.
Yesterday we had meeting. So all the chairs are there in the conference hall.
Please start. He has to go down to the first floor and come out.
I was at a mall, just walking around. I saw a Japanese person standing alone, looking around. I like Japan, their place, their culture. So I thought, this is my chance to meet a Japanese person. I should go speak with them. Then I had a 5 minutes conversation with myself. Should I speak with him? What should I do? Does he know English? And I finally decided to walk away, thinking I should have just said hello. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, this is how the story would have ended if it had been me before joining Toastmasters. After standing there for 5 minutes, my mind said, why do you go to Toastmasters every week? That made me go immediately to him and I just said, hi, I'm Darshan. He smiled and said, hi, I'm Mitsuya. Next, I didn't know what to say, so I just said, I really love Japanese people, your culture, your country. And slowly that 10-second conversation became a 10 minutes of conversation. If I had decided to walk away, I would have bought few minutes of comfort and paid with hours and days of regret. There are 2 types of regrets. The regret of not doing something and the regret of doing something. Back in 2021, I met an old friend. Later that day, he told me, I am getting a tattoo. I told him, don't get a tattoo, it's permanent, you will regret later. That same evening, I got one too. At that moment, I was not thinking about the future. All I was thinking was about that present. It took just 5 minutes to get this tattoo. Now I am getting this removed. It takes more than a year. It costs more. It hurts more. 5 minutes off. 5 years later, I am still paying for it. So I kept thinking myself, asking myself, how do I stop making decisions that I will regret later? That's when I came across a concept called second order thinking. Whenever you make a decision, just ask yourself one more question. And then what? For example, I won't join Toastmasters. And then what? I won't give speeches. And then what? I won't improve. And then what? I'll still be the same person I was a year before. Still hesitating, still running away from conversations, just like how I almost walked away from that Japanese guy. So every time we ask, and then what? What we are really asking is, what happens to the future me if I choose this? Because every decision we make today, our future self has to pay for it. The person visiting a hospital because of unhealthy lifestyle, a person visiting a laser clinic, removing the tattoo they got in 5 minutes, all those people are the same person they were once made the decision in their past. So I started asking, how do I make life easy for future me? A few weeks back, I went to a mall to watch a movie. Like most malls, all theater exit leads to food court. There, as I was walking through, every single table was full. Children, parents, people of every age. Everyone was happily enjoying pizza, burger, desserts, ice cream. That's when a thought came to my mind. If I eat like this, my future self has to do all the hard work, spend more time, more exercise, more effort. So that made me think. Whenever I feel like eating unhealthy food or making any decisions, I just don't see what's in front of me. I see the hard work and the price that comes with it. That one shift in thinking helped me eat chips for almost a month. So in the end, it all comes down to one simple question: are we buying now or paying for it later? And you all answered that question the day you joined Toastmasters. More than 100 years ago, a man decided to start something. Because of that decision, we are still benefiting even today. On October 22nd, 1924, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley saw that people needed help with public speaking. So he started a small club, first club in YMCA basement, California. And today, Toastmasters International has over 3 lakh active members across 16,000 clubs in 145 countries. Our Mekong Communication Club was founded 28 years ago in 1998, and we are proud to be the 4th oldest club in India. A Toastmasters meeting has 3 segments. First is the prepared speech section, where the speakers prepare their speech and according to the chosen pathway. Second is the table topics session, where the speaker has to come on stage and speak on spot for 2 minutes. And third is the general evaluation session, where we receive constructive feedback based on our performance. To ensure our meeting runs smoothly, we have a team of role takers called the TAPG team. First, to help us manage our time, I request our timer Toastmaster Chetan to please explain their role.
Namaste fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as the timer today is to keep track of time. There are 3 speeches today. Each speech will be graded for 5 to 7 minutes. At the 5 minute, I'll raise the green flag. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow flag. And at 7 minutes, I'll raise the red flag. For table topics, it will be 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green flag. At 1.5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow flag. And at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red flag. And for individual evaluations, it's 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, I'll raise the green flag, 2.5 minutes yellow flag, and at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red flag. I'll give my report when called upon during the GD. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. Next, to help us reduce our crutch words, I request our accountant Toastmaster Shuba to please explain their role.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests present, as the counter for today, it is my duty to check on the usage of filler words and sounds, which include as well as repeated words, so, you know, and as well as pauses. Stay tuned for the report during the evaluation session. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shuba. Next to observe our meeting discipline, I request our parliamentary procedure evaluator Toastmaster Midhun to please explain their role.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As a PP evaluator, my role is to observe if the meeting is followed proper parliamentary procedures. Before meeting begins, a couple of things to follow. I'll explain. Please keep your phone on silent mode. Avoid speaking sex, religion and politics during the meeting. Only enter and exit during the applause. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report when called upon.
Thank you, Toastmaster Midhun. And finally, to monitor our use of English, I request our Grammarian Toastmaster Jyothi to please explain the role.
Dear Toastmasters, it was my wish and my dream from childhood to eat Amitabh Bachchan for lunch, hot and spicy, and be a hugger. You all are laughing because there was a mistake in the grammar. But if I say it's been my wish to have lunch with Amitabh Bachchan and hug him as my dream, it makes sense. So as a grammarian, I'll keep a note about the grammar used and not so well used. And also as the grammarian, it's my job to introduce the word of the week, zealous, which means having or showing great energy and enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or goal. In a sentence, one can use it as, she was zealous in preparing for the competition, practicing every single day. I shall give my report at the end during the general evaluation. I urge the speakers to use the word of the day, zealous, in your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi and the entire TAPG team for your introduction. Now it's time to start our first segment of the day, prepared speeches. I request the evaluator for Speaker 1, DTM Subramanyam, to please read out the project guidelines.
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. I am evaluating the first speaker, Toastmaster Deepa, who is delivering a course speech from level 3 of motivational strategies. That is, she will be delivering a speech with respect to emotional intelligence. The purpose of this project is for the speaker to cultivate an understanding of how their emotions impact their relationships. It's also designed to help the member identify how others' emotions impact their emotional state. The speaker will also share some aspect of their experience journaling emotions or being aware of emotions when interacting with others. All the best.
Our first speaker is a mechanical engineer with over 11 years of experience in sales and real estate. She serves as vice president at Fidelity Scott. She enjoys reading books, yoga, traveling. With the speech title, Just Pause. Just Pause. Please welcome Toastmaster Deepa.
Every time I could see only my face. Today, see, I love to see my body. Let me confess something today. I have valid driving license since 2014, but I only started driving in 2021. For 7 long years, my license had more confidence than I did. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm a mechanical engineer. I understand machines very well, but emotions, that was a different subject. I learned the driving, passed the test, got my license. But then I decided, let's not risk the society. So I stopped driving. But in 2021, January, I made a bold decision. I will drive to office. Immediately my heart said, don't do it. My brain said, if not now, when? My hand said, we are not ready. But still, I started. Elbow sticker on front and back on my grey color Ciaz, which deserved a better driver. And windows fully open. Apparently, I could believe I can hear danger coming in. My office is 5 kilometers away. Normally 15 minutes. That day, 1 hour. Not because of Bangalore traffic, because of me. First gear, second gear, and no third gear. Why to take risk? And Bangalore roads are not actually roads. Emotional tests. Every slope I felt like an interview question which I didn't prepare for. And I would pray while driving, dear God, please don't let the car stop and please control the people behind me. But no, they had one job, honk. I think some people, they don't drive cars, they drive horns. Somehow, day 1 completed. Then came day 2. Small slope, small movement, which turned into a big lesson. I stopped the car, waiting for the road to clear. Behind me, a white color Tata S parked very close to my car. It was not close. It was too close. I checked in the mirror again and again. There was hardly any gap. My heart started beating faster, and I told myself, don't worry, you can do this. Calm down. Slowly, I released the clutch. In that 1 second, car rolled back and bang! Not big accident, just exchange of paints. My grey color on his white color. But loud enough to break my confidence at that moment. I froze. Before I could react, he jumped out of his vehicle, walked straight towards my car, started shouting, "Madam, how can you hit my car?" In that moment, something else hit me. Not fear, ego. I knew I made a mistake, but instead of accepting it, I reacted. I got down from the car and started shouting back to him. Can't you see Elmore? Why did you park very close to my car? What do you expect? Now, it was no longer about that scratch. It became ego versus ego. People started watching, traffic started building, and I was not solving the situation. I became the situation. And finally, he turned to the others and said, "What is the point of arguing this elbow driver?" And he left. Small dent on my car, big dent on my mind. I went to office. Now, everything working normal as usual. My colleague, Shilpa, walked up to me and said, "Deepa, which proposal should I send it to Mr. Sunil?" Don't know what got into me. "Shilpa, how long you working here? Why are you asking this question? Use your brain and just do it." She quietly walked away. She got embarrassed and she quietly walked away. And somehow news traveled to the entire office. And everybody maintained safe distance from me. Nobody came to chat. Nobody came to ask questions. As if it was everybody decided today is not the day to talk to Deepa. And it didn't at office. As soon as I reached home, my experienced husband looked at my face and wisely decided not to say a single word. Instead of appreciating his silence, I started another argument. "Why aren't you not talking to me?" The truth was, I wasn't angry with Shilpa. I wasn't angry with my colleagues. I wasn't angry with my husband. Our emotions don't stay with us alone. It will spill over into our relationships, conversations, and people around us. And same situation happened just recently. A bigger slope this time. Same traffic, same pressure, same trigger. And my heart was racing, and I am aware of it. In that awareness, when I had a choice to react or to just pause, this time I paused. I took a deep breath and told myself, "Calm down, don't worry, let them honk. They are not paying your EMI." Slowly, I restarted the car and moved forward. No shouting, no drama. And then, that's when I realized and also something else changed. I stopped carrying traffic back to office and I stopped carrying that frustration back to home. This project taught me emotional intelligence is not about controlling situations. It is about understanding and managing ourselves. Fellow Toastmasters, life will not remove slopes. People will not stop honking. Situations will not be easy. But when life tests you, before you react, just pause. Back to you.
Thank you to Toastmaster Deepa. Now let's move on to our second prepared speech. Before that, I request the evaluator for speaker 2, DTM Toastmaster M U Bhat, to please read out the project results.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. This is a level 4 project 1. The purpose this is in two parts, is the project and the speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to develop and apply skills for coaching a fellow member or a person outside of Toastmasters who can benefit from his or her expertise. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience coaching. Members can expect a well-organized speech about the member's experience as a coach. The speech may be humorous, informational, any style the member is choosing. The time allowed 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker and back to sir.
Thank you, DTM M U Bhat. Our second speaker is a CA finalist and currently working as Business Accounting Associate. She is a Triple Crown winner and has also served as the president of our club. With a speech titled A Scribbled Piece of Paper. A Scribbled Piece of Paper. Please welcome Toastmaster Shreedevi.
Human beings are fascinating creatures. We want success without failure, fluency without practice, and occasionally a winning speech without rehearsal. Mr. Toastmaster, my dear Toastmasters and guests. While I was mentoring a young boy in the youth leadership program a few weeks back, I learned something interesting. Prithviraj, a young, vibrant, smart boy, full of confidence. The type of confidence we adults could only dream of. I told him to write his icebreaker script with full details, and what I received from him is a WhatsApp image of a tiny scribbled piece of paper which he calls as a script. I tried my best to zoom and read what is written. It was written with terrible handwriting and it looked like Greek and Latin to me. So I told him, hey, why don't you email me your script because I'm not able to read anything from this paper. And within a few minutes, my inbox stings. And I think to myself, wow, this boy is really quick. But when I download the attachment in the email, it's the same script which he's calling as his script. So I called him and I said, Viraj, it's an icebreaker speech for 4 to 5 minutes. You have to write it nicely. I remember we discussed you need to write an opening, a body, a conclusion. To which he says, ma'am, self-introduction only, no. I know myself very well, Eve. No need to write script and all that. Practice, preparation. Don't worry, I'll handle it. Don't worry, he says. Tell him, Viraj, you do know yourself, but when you go and stand on the stage in front of everyone, all eyes are on you. Your brain will lock the door and go on a vacation. Practice is the only way we can ensure it moves out smoothly. And to that, I thought he's understanding what I'm saying, but he says, ma'am, if my brain goes on a vacation, I go back and sit down. Don't worry. Don't worry, he says. I said, nothing doing, Prithviraj. You have to write your script. Somehow he writes a script and goes and gives a half-hearted delivery of his icebreaker. And before you know, it's time for his second speech. He calls me with full of surprise. Ma'am, every week we should give a speech. He said, yes, Prithviraj, every week. And this time you can choose a topic of your choice. To which he says, oh wow, that's great, ma'am. Give me any topic under the sun, I will deliver. And I was amazed by his confidence. I said, wow, so what have you chosen? And he says, ma'am, like I said, any topic. You give me the topic. You give me the script. I will deliver. Don't worry, he said. At this point, I realized that it's not confidence that he lacks, but he lacks the understanding, the importance of preparation. That will not just help him in speeches, but will take him a long way in life. I said, Viraj, if I give you the topic, if I write the script, it is my speech coming out of your mouth. A coach doesn't run the race for you. They train you so that you can run and win the race yourself.
this time, I think I got to him. Because finally, he was ready to sit with me. He had war flashbacks of his icebreaker. Finally, we made a game plan together. First, we put all his chaotic thoughts down on a paper. In that, we picked out ideas that he likes and wants to speak. Then I made him research on that topic and then made him rewrite the script. And then rehearse the delivery over and over again till he understood that preparation is not a boring chore, but a superpower. A superpower that can convert your chaotic thoughts into unshakable confidence. Because when he went and delivered that second speech of his, it was not just mere recitation of lines or him trying to remember points in his head. It was a well-structured script delivered with full sincerity. He had learned an important lesson that preparation is a must, and it became a precedented practice for the rest of his speeches. Now, we may have laughed at the cute shenanigans of 10-year-old Prithviraj, but how many of us as adults are trying to wing it through life just like him? How many of us have entered board meetings, started a new venture, or even had a difficult conversation without doing the preparation behind it? We want the applause, we want the appreciation, but we also want it on a silver platter. What we fail to realize is that you cannot bypass the grind if you want the glory. And preparation does not just mean practicing words. You're actually laying a foundation to your confidence, brick by brick. Now, as his mentor, I might have helped him with a few speeches, but as his coach, we built a life skill together, the skill of preparation. Together, we learned that true confidence cannot be faked and there's no shortcut to success. If you want to stand tall and if you want people to listen to you, you have to be sincere. Your delivery has to be sincere. And that only comes from preparation. Because if you don't prepare, no matter how smart you think you are and no matter how deep your thoughts and ideas are, it will never become a masterpiece and might just end up as a scribbled piece of paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreedevi. Now I request the evaluator for speaker 3, Toastmaster Ujwal, to please read out the project guidelines.
Namaste, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a change management plan and share some aspect of the change management plan. The member will give specific information about the plan, and the speech may be of any type, including humorous, but it should not be a report on the content of managed change project. With that, I wish the member all the very best and back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal. Our third speaker is a computer science student and currently serves as VP of our club. She enjoys singing, dancing, traveling, you name it, with a speech titled Operation Relocation. Operation Relocation. Please welcome Toastmaster Shreya.
Shreya, Sachin, my parents called out to me and my brother. We have some exciting news for you, come fast. My brother and I ran to the living room and sat on the sofa waiting to hear this exciting news. The next 4 words my dad said changed our lives forever. We are moving to India. Wait, what? That wasn't in my plan. I was 8 years old and I had big plans for my life. I was going to be a dentist by day, a singer by night, and a football player on the weekends. Moving to India was not in this plan. 15 years later, I am unemployed by day, studying at night, and having midlife crises on the weekend when I haven't even turned 25. When my dad told us this news of moving to India, I felt like my world was falling apart. But what I didn't realize was that it was just a new chapter of my story. Now, when I look back at that moment, I think about something else. I don't think about how freaked out I was. Now I am thinking about moving to a different country. So when I look back at this, it makes me think about how they planned this whole thing out, because it's such a huge change in our lives, right? I imagine it went something like this. First, any change needs a why. Why move to India? My grandparents were getting old, as grandparents do, and my parents wanted us to spend a lot more time with them. An added bonus was culturalizing their whitewash days. Now that we have our why, it's time to define our objectives. Relocate the family to a different country. Do so while minimizing disruptions to career, education, and finance. And lastly, adapt and settle into our new life in this country. After defining our short-term and long-term objectives, we need to communicate them to the stakeholders, along with their budget and timeline. Short-term objectives are always the easiest to delegate. So my parents took care of personal things like finance, talking to our landlord, my school, their employers, dealing with all the travel stuff, booking tickets and all. Then we asked our family friends to help us pack up and then get rid of things we were leaving behind. And lastly, we assigned our grandparents the role of finding schools and a place for us to live when we got there. But I think the most intimidating stakeholder to my parents was me. No, Amma, I don't want to go. All of my friends are here. My school is here. I don't want to go. This is something called resistance, and something that every change management plan needs to adapt to. For me, my reason of resistance was obvious to them. My friends were here. My school was here. I just didn't want to leave all this behind because it was all I'd ever known. For my grandparents, they might have been anxious, thinking that it would be difficult for my brother and I to settle into this new environment. And for my parents, they had concerns of their own. How to deal with finances, how to budget this well. They have to get new jobs. What if we're not able to secure some kind of living situation before we reach? What if something happens? These are some fears that we can't eliminate, but we have to prepare for them nonetheless. So for me, that means reassuring me that I can still communicate with my friends over email. For my grandparents, it means looping them in the process by telling them to search for schools and houses for us so that they're not just sitting there anxiously waiting for us to arrive. And for my parents, it means having backup plans, like an emergency savings fund, or planning to stay in my grandparents' house for a little longer until we are able to secure a place to live. So now with all this planning and preparation done, the only thing left was for us to actually execute the plan. Right? 2 exhausting flights later and a cab ride later, and we had finally reached India. We had finally reached my grandparents' house. We stayed there for a few weeks while we were settling in. Eventually, I started going to school. My parents found jobs and they started working, and we moved into a rented house. And then a few months after that is when the focus shifts from the short-term to the long-term objectives. So for us, these objectives are being financially independent in this country, finding a permanent residence, and then just comfortably settling into this new chapter of ours. With every passing day, my brother and I found it easier and easier to get accustomed to the environment, the people, the culture, the food. Very soon, my adopted country became my country, or my home country. So, my brother and I obviously ended up falling in love with India. How can you not, right? And the day that the both of us finally called India our home is the day that this change was actually successful or completed. Looking back, I realized that this change is something that was inevitable. It's not like my parents could cancel this plan of moving to India just because I wanted to stay with my friends. But one thing that they could do was make it easier for my brother and I to kind of take in this change or be comfortable with it. And they did this through planning, communication, and support. And this essentially is what impact a good change management plan should have on the people that are involved in it, right? With planning comes direction, with planning comes structure, with communication comes direction, and with support comes confidence for the people to actually execute this plan. In change, everything is uncertain, but the one thing we can do is plan, communicate, and give support, and it makes this uncertainty slowly feel familiar to the person who's actually going through the change, right? Which is exactly what my parents did for me. So, fellow Toastmasters, 15 years ago, I felt like my world was ending when my dad told me that we were moving across the globe. But what I didn't realize was that I wasn't leaving my home, I was just moving to another one. Maybe sometimes the plans that life has for us are actually the right ones all along, and not the plans that we had in mind for ourselves. Thank you, and back to the mic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. We just witnessed 3 well-prepared speeches, and now it's time to test our spontaneous speaking skills as we move on to our second segment, Table Topics. Our Table Topics master is an engineer who works in business development at Mixpanel. He's passionate about history, weight training, running, and reading manga. Please welcome our Table Topics master, Toastmaster Madhusudan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I always try to keep a theme whenever I'm the table topic master, and today is no different. And since I am an outgoing associate VP of membership, I thought, why not let's ask questions to our members to foster some connections. I know you all play board games. How many of you know we're not really strangers? Okay, I think one person knows we're not really strangers. It's a board game which, if you Google, their website literally says empowering meaningful connection. So today I thought, let me just ask you simple topics which will make you talk about your own life, your own experiences, so that all members here can get to know you a bit more and we foster meaningful connections. So at the end of the day, we're not really strangers. For the benefit of the guest, a typical table topic session includes me, the table topic master, coming here and giving random topics to members of the club. They have to come here, speak for a minute or two, and go back. And that's about it. So let's start with the first topic. A person you became friends with unexpectedly. A person you became friends with unexpectedly. This goes to Toastmaster Aparna.
Toastmasters and dear guest. All I can think about at this moment is I wanted to be an engineer, and due to some reason, my father wanted me to be doing BSc. So rebellious me, I said, okay, I'm not doing BSc, let's do BCom. And we come from the family of all engineers. So he wasn't happy, I wasn't happy, but I chose to choose a BCom. And when I took up the BCom degree, back in those days, say about 25 years back, people who would choose BCom were not so interesting or not so smart people. So you can understand the kind of people who are doing BCom are either coming from a business background, or they have not secured enough percentage. And that's when I met Anupama. Anupama also came from a transferable job,
kind of family, and we somehow became friends. And now we both also became competitors in the class. And that friendship was very spontaneous, but also became very competitive in a way which challenged me and her in very different ways. I got to know something about myself, that I can be jealous about a person, I can be envious about a person, and I can also be a friend yet be challenged with the whole scenario. Somehow, fast forward 3 years, our friendship lasted really strong. And I don't know, poof, she went her way, I went my way, and but then that was a very strange, and yes, I got reminded as you gave that topic to me. Back at you.
The next topic, what is something you are oddly good at? Something you are oddly good at. This goes to Toastmaster Aadishwar.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. So something I'm already good at. So from my childhood, I only used to play cricket. Like I was playing gully cricket, I joined coaching, so I was really good at cricket. But I didn't think I would play other sports because cricket was only the thing I wanted. Like when I was a kid, it was my dream to become a cricketer. So my focus was only cricket. You know, you come back from school, cricket. Summer holidays, full day cricket. I never thought I'd play other sports and be good at it. But then, you know, once I was, I guess, 7 years or 8 years in a coaching, I got injured. Like, not a fracture, but the leather ball hit my elbow. And my dad was like, no, you're playing, like, you're getting injured continuously and you have to stop playing cricket. But I was like, no, I don't want to stop. So then, for the summer camp, they put me in skating, you know, roller skates, like skating, skating coaching. So there, I was like, I'm gonna fall here, and more than cricket, I'm gonna fall here and get injured. But surprisingly, you know, I was so good at it. Like I became so good at it. In just 2 years, I had a chance to represent state, but due to some exams of school and all, you know, parents focus more on study than sports. So I had to skip that, and then I had to leave that also, like because then the age gap had I had crossed the age gap, and so I couldn't participate. And playing for the next age gap was really tough because there was a lot of competition. So, but yeah, unexpectedly I became good at other sports as well, not only cricket. So yeah, that's my take.
The next topic, what is a harmless opinion you will strongly defend? What is a harmless opinion you will strongly defend? This will go to DTM A K Prabhakara.
What is the harmless opinion you will strongly defend? Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome. Yes. What is the harmless opinion I strongly defend? I have an unusual habit that I try to impart to my children, but it didn't happen. One such is that I have written diary for 40 plus years, and it's everyday affair. Either I miss writing it. So for tomorrow, today night I'll scribble, these are the things to be done for tomorrow. And in case I miss, next morning definitely I start, maybe immediately after reading newspaper or before that, after coffee I first write that. That unloads me, kind of thing, that I set a kind of question paper for myself to answer for the day. It is written in first half and second half. So I do it meticulously. I want to decide, it's a pile now. I want to just put a thing on the table, take a photograph, and say, tell my children and including my wife, that this is my life. I'm going to destroy. Perhaps it's going to happen in another week or two. The point is that it's harmless. It didn't harm anybody. For that matter, in fact, one of my bosses asked me once, you didn't do this. Why it took so much time? One particular issue. and ultimately you said no to it. I said, I have written, this is the problem that you gave me, and to say no also, or to yes also, it took so much time, because I have written there, here is the list of things that I had to do, to collect the information to give it to you. He was stunned. And that's why he said that you have a useless hobby, but it helps sometimes. Go to the topic master.
On to the next topic. What did school teach you beyond textbooks? What did school teach you beyond textbooks? This goes to Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
My dear Toastmasters, many things you learn beyond the school. Do you all agree with me?
Yes.
When I was studying in second year, I come from a very remote village. My father and parents were farmers. I do not know how to speak also. Somehow I got an engineering seat. I went to meet one of my relative who is a doctor in orthopedic Bowring Minto Hospital. When we were conversing with him, another doctor came and asked many questions in English. I do not know English. He ridiculed me, he condemned, criticized and ridiculed me for not speaking in English. My relative also said, you are studying in engineering, you do not know how to speak. I went to the second year, abandoned all my studies, only ordered Hindu paper, Indian Express paper and started reading what Dr. Radhakrishnan has written in the books. Many people said he will become this thing. So you know the result of that one? I failed it. I failed. That fail has brought me to this position where I started my industry, where I have given an employment to 250 people, where I am generating more revenue to the government as well as to my employees. So if you have bought that at that time, now I am enjoying. My dear friends, once again, without school I tell you, be honest, be sincere and be with God. Even I tell my daughter, driver, I have given 5 these things. Rules, and every time he comes to me in the morning, he has to repeat that one. Keep your health fit. How do you keep your health fit? By doing yoga, pranayama and then walking. Next one is be honest and sincere. Third one is make abundant money. Fourth one is don't waste your time. Don't talk of any person in his absence. This is what you can learn. You cannot learn in the school. You can learn by practice and other things. My dear friends, be a practical man rather than a bookworm.
On to the next topic. Tell us about someone who makes boring moments fun. Tell us about someone who makes boring moments fun. This goes to Toastmaster Ajay.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Well, my take is let me flip the script with the permission of the table topic master. Let me talk about a person who makes fun moments boring. So I met this person and he's a really dear friend of mine. We shared a room in college, in fact. His name is Easter. Fun fact, he ended up getting the silver medal of the batch. He was ranked 2. And through the 2 years of the college experience, what I observed was he was a 1+ or a me too person. Whatever the top person in the class or the room is doing, he just follows that. And that is almost always the most boring thing to do. It's not like he was a bookworm, he was into sports, but whatever the best player in the volleyball court did, he wanted to do the same exact thing. He was a copycat of sorts. And what reminded me of Easter today was looking at my neighbor's Toastmaster Subramanyam's shoe. What he is wearing is from Relaxo. It is a SM101. It is a simple copy of the Adidas marquee flagship shoe, right? While Adidas sells maybe 10,000 pairs a quarter, Relaxo, the parent brand, sells 2 million copies of the same shoe. What did they do? They just added one stripe. So Easter is pretty much that. He finds the best thing to do at by looking at the best person in the room and does the same exact thing, which is so boring. So that's Easter. A person who made fun things boring by copying whatever was done the best.
I hope he doesn't see this YouTube video. Next topic. What is one thing you miss about being a child? What is one thing you miss about being a child? This goes to Toastmaster Malegiri.
What is one thing you miss about being a child? So there is one famous saying which goes that child is the father of a man. Child is the father of a man. So being a child is one of the most beautiful attributes of a human being, because being a child, it teaches his father many things which he is oblivious of. There are lots of curious things that go on into the world, and this child absorbs all those things with his wonderful eyes and with his limited knowledge, and he tries to experience and tell his father about how he sees this world in his tiny little world that he exhibits, that he foresees, and that becomes an interesting point for his father to ponder over many of the experiences for which he is probably may not be a party to. So in that way, the child is a father of a man, and that tiny 12 to 13 years of age where your experiences are shaping, your mind is developing into, and you are being experienced into so many wonderful things, where you are shaping of to become how you are seeing the world. That's one of the wonderful phases of a human being. And once you miss that innocence, once you miss that ignorance and start being part of this life, is where you miss that childhood very much. And then you again discover it in the eyes of your child, who again becomes the father of a man. That means he starts teaching you all over it again with things which you had lost before, or that gap had made you lose these things. So yeah, childhood is one of the wonderful things. Everyone has to enjoy that little tiny thing that God has given. Thank you.
Next topic. Who was your favorite teacher and why? Who was your favorite teacher and why? This goes to Toastmaster Chakravarthy.
So all of my teachers are always favorite. With that, I wanted to tell about one of my favorite among them favorites. So his name is Mr. Shivraj, who is no more with us now. But the thoughts, the knowledge, what he has transferred, made me to stand here. Definitely, I can say that. So most of you all know my, the basic childhood which I conveyed through my icebreaker speech. So I was, selling snacks in the moving buses, during my childhood, from 5th standard till my 10th standard. Okay, so he always used to see my. So he's from my same village and used to, always encourages me. So even I used to go to his home to sell the snacks and everything. So he always just encourages in the class, and even if any doubts or anything, like not only subjects, he used to transfer good moral things to me, and even now I'm a honest person, and I never
you know, make bad to other people's. So that is all because of the moral things which he transferred to me. So I remember always. So all my wins goes to Mr. Shivraj. So that's the thing I want. Our next topic. What is a childhood memory that still makes you smile? What is a childhood memory that still makes you smile? This goes to our Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Table topics master, fellow Toastmaster and guest. As soon as I heard this topic, while I was walking from there to here, I just remembered one moment when I was a kid. I was extremely fond of cycling. Be it wherever, whatever, I always used to cycle around. And similarly to me, there was an extremely enthusiastic friend who said, let's cycle everywhere. And I took it literally. And we used to be a part of this organization called Go Green, Go Cycling. And one fun Sunday, they asked us, why don't we all cycle to Mysore? The idea was simple, to cycle all the way till Mysore and then dock our cycles back in the truck and come back home. Since we both were extremely enthusiastic, but we were always late and registering for such things, because we were kids, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't know how to register and all of that. So we went to the event on the day of the event and we told we would like to join. We didn't inform our parents, nobody. We just cycled all the way till Mysore, and while coming back, there was a big blunder. There was no space in the truck for our cycles. We didn't know what to do. So this little enthusiastic friend of mine, is actually little, he's only so much. He said, why don't we cycle back to Bangalore? And I had noted the speedometer, it said 157 kilometers from Bangalore to Mysore was our one-way journey. And going back would be 304 or something of that sort. He said, let's do this. So I think we took about 8 hours to cycle back from Mysore to Bangalore. But that one memory, every time I look at someone cycle on the road, it takes me back to that moment where me and my friend didn't worry about a thing in the world. And now if I were to do that, I would think about the 2000 possibilities that could go wrong. But then, being a child, you don't really care about what can go wrong, but rather what can you get out of it, what is the best element you can get off it. And that till today and till the time I go for a very long time, I'll remember this. Thank you.
Next topic. What do you do when you suddenly get free time? What do you do when you suddenly get free time? This goes to Toastmaster Midhun.
Topic master, a lot of masters, and dear guest. What I do when I get free time, I generally don't get free time, that is the scenario right now. But when it comes to, when I get a free time, suddenly what really I try to do is to, I generally have a plan for reading and doing speech practice or something like that. But what ends up is my love of practice that comes in. When I get free time, I start practicing martial art. This is what I do. Whatever else I planned, it generally doesn't happen. Some of the time, even if it is a daytime, I end up in practice martial arts. So I think that is what made me good in all other things which I do. Though I keep practicing from my childhood this martial arts. So, but my father used to tell, it is too much you're doing, you have to stop doing this. He used to tell me in the school days. But I without without knowing him, I used to go and practice. But I think that helped me to build my even my practice in hospital, even any other thing which I come initially with a lot of difficulty, but even here for the speech when I come, I sometimes feel difficult here. I cannot speak fluently and then end up in giving. But this practice, continuous practice, make me understand. So all other things which I do, whatever happens, I don't give up. I just keep continuing, keep trying. That made me a successful person. So with that, over to
So that is the last topic of the day, and I hope this table topic session helped all of us know our fellow Toastmasters a little bit more. Thank you, and I hand it back to the table.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhusudan. Now you all have to make a decision. Snacks or no snacks?
Snakes.
But thanks to our treasurer's budget, we just have enough snacks to enjoy, not enough to regret. Let's take a break for 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a refreshing break. Now it's time to move on to our final segment of our meeting, general evaluation. Our general evaluator has over 20 plus years of experience in communication and leadership training. She strongly believes success is the sum of right skills, right attitude, and overall wellness. Please welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. We started the meeting at 6:23. It was supposed to start at 6:15. We were 8 minutes late. I understand that we were trying to figure out the TAPG role takers. Now again, I'm making the same statements. I would request all the members, whoever taken up any roles, that it be TAPG, MTG roles, speakers, evaluators, please be on time. Please be here by 6:10 so that we can start the meeting by 6:50. This is something related to discipline, consistency, what we need to maintain. So it's becoming like a fashion for all of us. Others are there, the role takers are not there, so we need to wait for them or assign other people the roles and then they come in. If you feel you are not able to be on the time, do inform your VPE about it so that she can assign the roles to someone else. Request everyone once again, please be on time. Our theme, buy now and pay later. Our Sergeant at Arms today, Sachin, started the meeting very well. His good evening was very powerful, and this is how I would say the meeting should kickstart. 6 months as a Sergeant at Arms, I finally see at the last meeting of this term what a Sergeant at Arms of Mekon Communication should be. Please give a huge round of applause to our Sergeant at Arms. The kickstart was excellent because always the first meeting of the term and even the last meeting of the term is always special to us. So it was an excellent, powerful kickstart to the meeting. He explained the penalty what he paid, 120 rupees. So he explained us why he paid 120, like 2 rupees into 60 days, 120. Very detailed to it, that was nice. And it had a lot of humor to it. Because at 120 you paid, in which library are you studying? In 120 only you paid the penalty of good. You had a very good humorous view of storytelling. This is a very rare time we see this part of you coming out. It was very good. Introduction to the president was excellent. This was something what I was expecting at the last meeting. Especially when it told Toastmaster Apoorva. This is how the president of the club should be introduced. Very good, very powerful kickstart to the last meeting of the term. Let's give it again to our sergeant. Our president, the pattern what we have when the presidential address comes, introduction of guests, done very well. The MOM was read by our Secretary Toastmaster Ujwal, excellent as usual. The presidential address was very apt, very well connected to the theme where you spoke about different storytelling, different stories. You spoke about your credit card, you told about Sahil, and you talk about when you went to the clinic as a patient. So all these things were related to the theme very well. And then at the end, you concluded the address with a very right question for the conclusion as the president. Please give a huge round of applause to our president. When we introduced the MC, very good. But the icing on the cake was cool as a cucumber. And all of us were like, yes, we would agree for Darshan that he's very cool as a cucumber. Let's get to, we'll give for the feedback for the MC later on. And let's start with our evaluators. I would like to request, I would ask all the 3 evaluators today, did you get the evaluation resource before in hand?
Yes.
All the 3? Okay. So let's start with the first evaluator for today. I would request our distinguished Toastmaster Subramanyam, to please come and give an evaluation for Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Latha.
Before I start my evaluation, I would just like to know the time taken by the first speaker.
It's on the board.
7 minutes, 18 seconds.
Thank you. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and my target speaker, Toastmaster Deepa in particular. It's been more than a year that I evaluated even, and it gives me great joy to be back here and evaluate someone today. So Toastmaster Deepa, to start with, you are a very natural and confident speaker, and you started off very comfortably, starting with your story of bringing in humor about you are not ready, but your license had more confidence in your ability to drive. So that was a very big advantage for the speaker, that straight away she jumped into getting comfortable with the audience and engage the audience directly. The objectives of the speech was to identify her own primary and secondary emotions, which she did very well. I think all of us can agree to that. I would like to point out how she did that. In the first incident where she decided to take her car for the first time, to travel the distance of 5 kilometers, which used to take not more than 15 minutes, it took her 1 hour, and she shared the story of how she went to first gear and the second gear. So when she had that encounter with the person who had parked his own vehicle not very much next to the car, so she showed her first primary emotion, that is fear of unexpected things, and she directly reacted without understanding what was the primary emotion. She was unable to understand what was the primary emotion, and due to the primary emotion, her secondary emotion also got into play, which was ego. And straight away, instead of responding, she reacted, and there was a conflict between the another driver and the protagonist. That's a speaker here. And then again, same thing continued. 2 more secondary emotions came into play here, which is frustration as well as anger, which took an effect on her own colleagues, so as well as into the relationship which she had. I think there she was very much successful in bringing out and understanding her own primary emotions into play, and how her own primary emotions act on others without the speaker's control. In the second incident, which was very much, it was very much evident that when she encountered a similar kind of challenge, which was not in her control, she paused, and then instead of reacting, she responded. She did not directly react, but she took a pause, she was silent, and then she was able to understand herself, how if we can manage our own emotions while understanding it, we can manage others' emotions as well. This was the primary moot point of the entire speech or the project. The speaker did very well in also bringing out the conclusion, which was very concise. However, I would also like to share how the speaker could have done better. I would have loved to see the speaker bringing in more depth between the first and second incident. While you were very clear in understanding your own emotions, how that change was coming, so that we would have loved to understand. Second thing is that if you would have made your conclusion a little bit lengthier, that would have brought in more depth to the entire story. overall, I feel that you have chosen a very good story which gives you or allows you good leverage to express your own understanding of the project, wherein you understand your primary emotions and secondary emotions, and how you have to also face consequences if you don't manage your own emotions. Overall, a very good speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Subramanyam, for a detailed evaluation. Next, I would like to call upon our second evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster M U Bhat, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Shreedevi.
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Today, all of us witnessed a new avatar of Toastmaster Shreedevi. That's what I feel, because we have been knowing her for several years now. But I have never seen her in a humorous side of kind of speech when she gave. This is the first time we are witnessing, and you simply excelled in it. Congratulations on that. Let me evaluate your speech. What are your strengths that are really helpful to you in taking up such project? The first of all, what I feel is positive and enthusiastic attitude. This has been always been your strength, and that is very much required for a coaching experience, because you are transferring the enthusiasm to the person or a mentee or a person you are coaching, and you are developing sort of creating a feeling of possibility in you. Just I can do it, a positive kind of attitude. For that, your attitude becomes very important, and you have exhibited in your speech also. I can see that. Another thing I should see that you told us that you understood the difference between mentoring and coaching. It came out during your speech how it is mentoring is a long-term thing and the coaching is for a specific skill advising, and how you went about it. And more than anything else, what I liked about it, you are experimenting with the humor. It came out beautifully well. The way, the conversation style, the use of space is another thing which you have not practiced earlier. I think this is the first time you are doing it, that kind of thing, where the entire stage you could make use of with a proper, body language and conversation and all that. Excellently done. Congratulations. Now, having said that, what you could have done better? Honestly, nothing very serious, everything went off very nicely. But what about you? Because you wanted to experiment with humor, I can suggest you some things when it comes to humor. Humor, the importance is, it's not the punchline of the humor or the anecdote what you're giving. Or for example, that person who is the precocious child, Prithviraj, tells about his own experience. He is the bindas type of person. He says, when my brain goes out of water or whatever, empty and all something. Or he says that, you give me the script and I will speak. And what I can tell you is, when you tell such a dialogue, you can experiment with some emotion also. Emotion means gestures. No? For example, when he says, you give me the script, you give me the thing, I will speak. Then you should give a pause. And then, so, I give the script to you, you make the speech, and you read it. Huh? Something that would have added value to that, and you would have brought more humor into that whole situation. Instead of just telling it as a narration or your reaction, that could have probably added value. That is as far as humor is concerned. But overall, I feel you have understood the nuances of coaching, the importance of particularly one skill you took up is about preparation. How proper preparation will help that poor performance. That's one thing which you wanted to drive home, and you did it very successfully to him. A person who was very reluctant, wanted to do his own style, then you convinced him. Another thing what I liked about your coaching style was, in coaching you need to go hand-holding for the initial time. Then you can let him do its own thing. That's what came out in your speech. You told it beautifully well. Overall, I think you have very well delivered speech with a lot of humor, very nicely delivered. One of the finest speeches you have done. And only thing I can ask you to challenge yourself is, take up more humor side of yours, experiment with that, you will be successful. All the best. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster M U Bhat. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ujwal, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Shreya.
that attitude of a child that you brought on the stage did not tell us that you were a kid. Rather, painted us a vivid picture of what a kid would do in reacting to such a huge change. Beautifully portrayed there. Namaste fellow Toastmasters. These are the few things that I feel we can take home and learn from Toastmaster Shreya that were wonderfully executed. The first thing was your utilization of the stage, your hand gestures, and your voice modulation that you beautifully executed in multiple stages. Like when you ran from the room to sat on the sofa along with your brother, or when your parents called you through the living room to announce a new change. The second thing that really worked in your favor, we can all learn, was the summary. You gave us a quick summary saying, in life, changes are not something that we can expect. It is not what we expect that comes to us, but might be something totally different, and we should be ready to accept it. The third thing that I really liked was the impact of this change. The change itself was something of a very huge magnitude because it was not affecting one small person, not one organization, rather a family where 2 people were in India, 4 abroad, and they had to manage the finances and all other things. And amidst all of this, you beautifully managed to step out of your shoes and into your parents' shoes to tell us what they had thought about and what were all the different things that they had considered in telling us that this change had to take place. Here are a few things that I think can help you elevate your speech to the next level. Starting off, we listen to your speech, but what is our take-home message? What do we learn from it? If I leave this meeting, what did I take away from your speech? A simple thing that you could have implemented here is when you started off with, the first thing a change requires is a why. The second thing, a what. And there are a few more things that could have just been summarized at the end to keep it simple and tell us when there is a change, we need to think about the following things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would have been a take-home message telling us what we need to focus on. The second thing is your conversational tone with the audience, not while you are enacting the child, but while speaking with the audience. Like you said, we fell in love with the country. How can we not? That was a very conversational tone. And similarly, when you used words like, you know, that reduces your credibility, and I would recommend that you stop or try to reduce the usages of these words. The third thing that would elevate your speech was meeting the project guidelines. I felt that the project guidelines were not met, and look into the project guidelines the next time you're delivering a speech. To summarize, you had a great stage utilization, the act of a child, a great summary, and a very huge magnitude of change to speak about. The things that you can work upon would be a take-home message, focusing on the project guidelines, and not using a conversational tone. With that, wishing you all the very best for your future speeches, and back to our general evaluation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal. All the 3 individual evaluators have told you what you have done good, what you need to work upon, and what you can do better. Now, just to add on, I felt that all the 3 speeches are something very different. The body language was great, very creative. The topics are very interesting, and the way you executed behind the lectern was very good. And this was the quality what at prepared speeches Macon is famous for. And I hope in the coming meetings we take the bar more higher. Let's give a huge round of applause to all the 3 speakers and the evaluators. Coming to the second section, that is the table topics. The most exciting session, what we all wait for. And I usually do not get a single topic also because I'm either in the MTG role or I'm an individual evaluator. So I usually from last 6 months I have not got one single table topic, and I wish from next week onwards I get it. Now, our table topic master today was Toastmaster Madhu. He usually comes with a theme-based table topics, which is very interesting what he comes with. And this was a board game. But since we didn't have much idea about it, so we went with what he's going to start with. He explained the table topic section very well, which is for the benefit of the guests and the new joinees who have come. The topics had a lot of variety. It was not just one part of it. It had a lot of variety when he gave us the table topic. And the response was really good because everyone could come behind the lectern and speak about it for a long time. And this we can see by the mentioned by the time over the time taken by them. You have a knack of giving the right topics to the right speakers at the right time and for the right reason. You know when should I give which table topic to which speaker. So it was very good. Your topics were humorous. I found it really a lot of humor in it when the response came. It was very interesting because it was there's a lot of variety in it. Very creative. It was not something like very hard and fast where you need a lot of data over there. No, very interesting for a layman to understand also. Very quick-witted. Just to add on to more humor, it was very quick-witted because a lot of responses were like that. And it was insightful at certain sections wherein we got a lot of knowledge on that. Because it was more on how do we know our members more. How do we know, as a mechanic, how will I know other fellow mechanics well. It's very good. There's very smooth transition from topic number 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7. The transition was very smooth. It was not abrupt in between that you suddenly jump from one topic to another one. So this transition was very smooth, as usual in your table topic session. And all the topics are very well connected. When you spoke, I don't know what the board game is, but after going through this session, I can have a little mental picture of what the board game is all about. So you help me understand the board game. So an excellent training, an excellent table topic session, and I hope to have you behind this lectern at a table topic master in future multiple times. Let's give a huge round of applause to our Toastmaster. When I say huge round of applause, it's not huge. It's like, let's give a huge round of applause. Okay, now I would like to call upon our TAPG team. First, I would like to call upon our timer, Toastmaster Chetan, to present his report.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let's start with the report. A welcome by Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sachin took 2 minutes when the allocated time was 2 minutes. Our Secretary Toastmaster Ujwal read the report in 2 minutes 6 seconds when the reported time was 2 minutes. President Toastmaster Apoorva took 6 minutes and 6 seconds when the time allocated was 6 minutes. And introduction to the MC took 35 seconds. The MC itself so far has taken 17 minutes, Toastmaster Darshan. Our table topics session by Toastmaster Madhu took 22 minutes. Our first speaker, Toastmaster Deepa, took 7 minutes and 18 seconds when the time allocated was 5 to 7 minutes. The second speech by Toastmaster Shreedevi took 6 minutes and 23 seconds when the time allocated was between 5 to 7 minutes. And Toastmaster Shreya, the third speaker, took 7 minutes and 21 seconds and the time allocated was between 5 to 7 minutes. We took 10 minutes and 30 seconds for the break. Our general evaluator so far has taken 20 minutes. Our first evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Subramanyam, has taken 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Our second evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster M U Bhat, took 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Our third evaluator, Toastmaster Ujwal, took 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Thank you, and back to Ajay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. Next, I would like to call upon our counter, Toastmaster Shuba.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as the counter for today, it brings me great joy to tell you all that most of the speakers today were so confident and flawless in their speaking. So my job was really easy. To name a few members who had more than 5 minutes, Toastmaster Chakravarthy with repeated words, you know, and so, and Toastmaster Midhun, as well as Distinguished Toastmaster Subramanyam. But you're all here and you're just one step. Every time you're behind the lectern, you're just 1 hour short and you will become confident speakers in due time. And one technique that I noticed a few seasoned speakers using was to extend a word rather than adding an R to it. For example, that was the way that happened. So the was a little bit extended so that there's no another vowel of an R added there. So yeah, just a little tip. And that's all from my side. Thank you and huge round of applause to everybody.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shuba. Next, I would like to call our Grammarian Toastmaster Jyothi.
Toastmasters and guests, I observed that no one has used the word of the day serious, but I have been very serious today and I have taken up this role after many months, and so I have a long list of good usages. Not so good usage, a couple of them which I would go on first. Age gap could be, in the context it could have been the age bar. And do not make bad to other people, again in this context could be do not harm other people. Apart from this, the good usage, are you all prepared, ready? I'll go on. Okay. Let's not risk the society. Roads are emotional test. Small movements turn into big lesson. Exchange of colors. Loud enough to break confidence. Ego versus ego. Small dent on my car, but big dent on my mind. Emotion spilled over to our relationship. Emotions spill over to our relationship. Heart race, understand and manage ourselves. When life tests you, do not react, just pause. Fluency comes with fluency without practice. Brain will lock the door and go on vacation. Importance of preparation. The coach does not run the race for you. Preparation is a superpower. Presidential practice. Applause and appreciate. Cannot bypass the grind for glory. No shortcut for success. Huge change in lifestyle. Every change needs why. Adapt and settle. Intimidating stakeholder. Short-term to long-term objectives. Get accustomed to. Falling in love with India. Change is inevitable. Plan and communicate to support. In change, everything is uncertain. The rebellious me, spontaneous and competitive, question paper to myself, useless hobby, helps sometimes. Condemn, ridicule, flip the script, bookworm, copycat, child is the father of a man, oblivious, favorite among favorites, continuous practice helps not to give up, success comes with right attitude, engage the audience directly, positive and enthusiastic attitude, precautious, nuances of coaching. And with that, I give back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi. Next, I would like to call upon a parliamentary procedures evaluator, Toastmaster Midhun.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest. As a PP evaluator, my role was to observe how smoothly the meeting was running. During the meeting, all the members have kept the phone in silent mode, but I could hear a vibrator was ringing bigger than the ringtone, so it was distracting a bit. So if it can be avoided, it would be great. There was no sex, politics, or religion was discussed during the meeting. There was entry and exit was maintained during the clause, and there was no crosstalk during the speeches. Overall, the meeting was conducted very smoothly, and all the PPE guidelines of Toastmaster has been followed. With that, go over to
Toastmaster Midhun and all the TAPG road takers for a report. Now coming to the person who gave us the theme. Buy now, pay later. Toastmaster Darshan. You given a topic which after listening, just coming to know about is buy now, pay later. The first thing what comes to as a president, credit card. Although maybe you're going to connect a story to it, but the way you wove the whole concept together and the session together was excellent. By giving 3 different stories about how to connect the theme with it. About the Japanese guy, about how your tattoo story, and how the Toastmasters journey. And the hero of the whole session of yours was then what? This was something over the hero in a speech. Now you started very well, your introductions was very well. You have an element of humor, and I think humor comes very easily to you because the moment you are behind the lectern, it's from your body language only the humor comes popping out. So that was really good. Humor story was there, and you connected the theme very well with all your story. It was like 3 abrupt stories coming in between. Everything very well connected to the theme what was there. You spoke about the Toastmasters journey. You talk about how a specific Toastmaster meeting happened. You spoke about all the 3 sections, and you introduced the TAPG team very well. You spoke a line or 2 about each role taker in a very creative manner. So whoever's over a guest over here or newcomer over, they understand what the role taker's responsibilities are. They are very excellent. And the introduction to all the prepared speech speakers, there were 3 of them. You introduced them very well, short and crisp, what we are supposed to know. It went done very well. Translation from all the 3 sections also went very well. And the introduction of table topic master also done very well, because these introductions are very important because it helps us to understand how well prepared you are, how well preparations have been done as a Toastmasters of that day. And especially the icing on the cake, I would say, was the way you announce the snack break. Usually what happens, they give the charge to the table topic master, gives to MC, and MC asks the president how many minutes break. The president 5 or 10 minutes, and we tell okay, there's a break. But the way you introduce the snacks break also was as interesting as the snacks what we got. And I would like to thank the sergeant. First time in this term we got samosas, and it was really nice. The last role as a sergeant, you got very good snacks, and the way you introduced as an associate sergeant also was very good. And I would say observing you as a mentor also. The person, the first day who came behind the lectern and the person who is there today, phenomenal change. You have worked hard a lot. I will not say smart, because smart is not the right word over here. Hard work what you put in as a person behind the lectern is very interesting. And as a mentor, I am really proud of you, what Toastmaster Darshan as an MC today was. Please give a huge round of applause for our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Darshan. And I think I pretty much covered everyone. I hope I have not missed on everyone. So with this, I would like to end my general evaluation session. I would like to hand over charge back to the MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latha. Every meeting we attend, every speech we give, every role we take is a decision our future self will always thank us for. Today we chose to show up. That is one decision which we will never regret. With that, I hand the meeting back to our president, Toastmaster Apoorva.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. I request everybody in the room to vote, all our members. What better way to end this term than today's meeting? It was one of the best meetings of this term. We witnessed some of the best speeches. Each speech was better than the other, and it was it was at par with each other. And we had out of the box theme today by Toastmaster Darshan and a creative session by him. And we had a wonderful yet entertaining session by Toastmaster Madhusudan and a detailed evaluation by Toastmaster Latha. Overall, one of the best meetings of this term, I must say. Now I request, has everybody voted? Yes. So the best speaker, the best table topic speaker award goes to Toastmaster Sai Snehal. Toastmaster Sai Snehal, whenever he attends very rarely, but whenever he attends, he takes a ribbon home.
I'm a member only.
The best TAPG role taker award goes to someone who's always smiling, Toastmaster Jyothi. She is a member who takes every single role, be it a TAPG or a speaker role or an evaluator role, with the same kind of excitement and energy. The best MTG role taker is cool as a cucumber, Toastmaster Darshan. Best evaluator is he's won the maximum number of ribbons for the evaluator this term, Toastmaster Ujwal. And the best speaker award goes to. Today she was confident and her effort she put in was very evident. Toastmaster Deepa. So, I wouldn't say bye, but when I was chosen to be the president and I took up the role, unlike the team, I didn't pay. In fact, I earned a lot of experience, and the kind of learning I learned is unmatchable to whatever experience you go outside. So thank you to Mekon Communication Club and all the members for this kind of an experience that I got. And I would also like to mention that the revised MOM has been sent by our secretary, Toastmaster Ujwal. And request all the EC members to stay back for 5 minutes for a quick EC meeting about our installation.
I may mention something, hold the meeting downstairs, because
Okay.
there has been objections.
Alright, we'll have our EC
Staying
meeting.
beyond the allotted time, there have been objections. Please hold it in the.
Okay, so all the incoming and outgoing EC members, please stay back for a few minutes. We'll have our EC meeting downstairs. With that, for the very last time as the president, I close meeting number 1374.